Hey there everybody, Nimbalk here. Time for another tutorial, this one on Seaside Kingdom and Luncheon and maybe Ruined. So, I should mention, you probably noticed by now, I don't know how the quality is on this because I can't remember how my recording quality is. You know, Seaside I'll say isn't too bad. I'm used to an old route, so bear with me if I mess anything up. But the very first thing you want to do, it would be different if you're doing a different route, but that route honestly, well, okay, so when you're right here, you'll want to triple jump, get up there. Well, actually, if you miss that, you could just, when you get here, you can get up here to get a little more height, just like right here. You want to do this. This jump could be a little difficult. Like, if you're that low, you'll bunk. So you want to get as much momentum if you can. If you want to triple jump, that might be easier. But I usually get right here, because it's a little higher. You know, the height of your jump, of course. Get this. It's the first one you want to get on this route. Although I'm not as familiar with this route because I haven't spent much time, I'd still say it's one of the easier routes. So what I do is I kind of lined up with this guy, like the F-pixel of him, then like somewhat close to the pipe. It's hard to explain. A little farther from the pipe, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. Like right like here, sorta. Yeah. So like in the middle of the snail, somewhat higher than the pipe. I don't know the best visual cue for that, but it's bottom right is the main thing you need to know. Not like all the way bottom right though. So after that, we want to do actually, I think, oh right, so after that, I was spaced out for a second, because like I said, I'm used to older route. What I do is right where the shadow is, do that, and do that. It's a little bit tricky of a jump. I'd say that's the most difficult one in Seaside. And then what I do, in a different route that I saw, you would get shop here. So that's where if you would do Sphinx and stuff. So now you don't want to get this, of course. Get this. Now what we want to do, just to get there a bit faster, since slowing's a little slow, or swimming, and when you just want to use this to get there faster, I go over here, and then you don't want to press Y immediately because then you'll just dash. You want to get this one over here, this little treasure chest to the side. And when you have that treasure chest, if Dory's nearby, you can get her right here. But since she's not necessarily that close, this is where doing Seaside early would come in handy if you're doing a route without Sphinx, because you get all these coins. So you get the shortcut, and like I said, depending on cycle, you'll want to get Dory. Usually, optimally, she wouldn't be that fast. Also, you'd want to press A and B to be faster with this. Probably should have mentioned that in Lake Kingdom. Well, there's Dory. So you want to just hit this by this ceiling and all these guys. Of course, you don't want to take damage because then this like 2-second thing right here. Wow. Plus, you'll take damage immediately after. Then you want to get this one next, where you just hit this. Hit this, hit this, whoops. Yeah, you don't want to miss like that, obviously. As soon as you do that, they go away. It's the last one. Now you don't have to worry about taking damage once you get this one. Unless you're doing other categories, of course. You want to kind of somewhat go straight down, but up to here. You want to kind of do this, go straight down. Of course, if you're low on coins for snow and a different route, do that. And once you get this one, you should have 10. So now you want to go back to the Odyssey. usually would do a different route because it was easier for me. But now I do this route because, you know, it's faster. It's like about a minute faster than the previous one. Now you throw it at the Odyssey, you'll have 95. Now we're going to do... The route is slightly... I don't want to say different, but it varies a lot depending on how you want to do it. There's a bunch of different moves you could do and stuff, but I'll just show you the ones I do because I think it's not that bad. But yeah, here's Luncheon. Okay, so you know, Seaside doesn't take long at all, but Luncheon you have to get 18, so it takes quite some time. So yeah, just skipping cutscenes like every transition. We're actually going to do quite a few missions in this one. Not all of them, but there is quite a few missions, so there'll be more skipping on the way. Now, this is probably one of the trickiest jumps in here, in Luncheon. Luncheon has a bit of tricky jumps. So you do that. I mean, I make it look easy probably when I get it first try, but it does take a little bit of practice. Get the salt one. Obviously, you'd want to roll, but you might do that if you miss it, because, you know, but it doesn't really matter, because you'll be down here ultimately. And then you'll do this. Get this one. Now we'll want to just about do this now. And now we're going to fight another boss that's super easy. I mean, we fought him before. Yeah, there's no point in getting the coins at this point, but I like to do it just because. Pass the time while I wait for him. So I just, like, you know. If you miss that jump, you could hit him 3 times. Probably should have mentioned that in Wooded. But if you don't get high enough jump from where you are, you could dive onto him. But, you know, click this moon. There's going to be a bit of a cutscene. I think this first half of this kingdom's pretty easy, I'd say. So we're going to want to skip a cutscene because obviously there's more missions. Luncheon's one of the bigger kingdoms, of course. And you want to go this way. You know, get that. It's just really a long jump cap dive, but it's not the end of the world if you take damage like that. It just, of course, will... Well, if you take damage here, it's not bad, and the reason being is, you already got this moon, so if you take damage and don't want to get that little few second time loss, you could just grab that. Now, this is just kind of movement I'm doing here. You don't have to do that. Then when you get here, you can long jump and stuff, but I just do this. I think you can long jump at least, but I find it easier just ground pound jump. And then, okay, so what I should say, I want to show you the faster way of doing things. It's not necessarily easier, but it's definitely faster. So you want to get like right here, and throw your hat. Of course, if you shake it, the homing throw, get nearby. Obviously you want to be like right there, but just showing in general, you want to get, it's faster, not too much harder. You want to grab this middle ingredient. The reason you don't want to grab the other ones is there are just white ingredients that are just not golden. You know, everything golden is better, right? And once you grab this, you already have quite a bit. 7. And you got that. And you could do some long jumps here for this upcoming moon. Now, like I said, there's very many variations of the route. This is just what I find easiest. You want to get this guy as fast as possible, but if you don't, he'll be on this side next. And then, okay, so this can be a little difficult after this one. Little jump that we'll be doing, but you get the forks, they're pretty fast. Generally what you'll want to do is just get this guy, Do that. You just want to keep throwing at him, really. Throw into that one. Oh wow, I actually forgot about that. Where you could just homing throw there if you want. So once you get to this, you want to go to the secret one right here. And get this one. Because you know, those rooms always have two rooms like this. Want to do this. Now this could be a problem if you miss it, because then you fall a lot and you probably will die. But you know, if you bonk, I mean. But you know, you want to get that. Once you move on, the guy should be there. Sometimes I think it's on the other side, but rarely. Shaking's the faster way of moving here. So what I do is I get right over here. It doesn't really matter, you just gotta jump as high as you can. Do that. Whoops. So it doesn't matter if you get that guy or the other guy. But you know, you want to get the switch. It's a little awkward, I'd say. There are other ones you can get, of course, but I either find them harder or just not worth it compared to some of the others. But we're gonna get a few more, and then the one that's really easy in my opinion. Well, the next one's pretty easy. You want to skip the cutscene as fast as possible, or else you'll miss this first cycle. You want to run this way, throw this at him, and if you shake it with a homing throw, you can get him first time. If you miss him, you just wait a little bit. You know, you want to get on top of that if you can, but if you're not, just grab it as fast as possible. Now this room is difficult for some people, and it's not the fastest, but I think it's really fun to do. So I'll show it, because, you know, if you guys want to do this one, I think it's just really fun, and it's not really that slow. Alright, actually, what I did there, I was thinking of a different jump, so I'm sorry about that. But you want to do the, oh, whoops. So you want to do this, and you could barely make that. Get that, this tomato guy. Get this, jump up. Now this is when it's a little nerve-wracking if you don't know what you're doing. So I wouldn't normally jump there. I'd usually shake, jump, do this, take damage intentionally, and this. Now we're gonna get a quick multi-moon. We'll get that in a second though. Like I said, there's other choices, but this multi-moon is pretty much good in general. This one's pretty quick. But there of course is other choices. What you might want to do is get up on here. There's one over there you can get, as you see from that shining spot. And the one up there, but that takes a jump if you don't want to do that magma room. What I do is I do this. You can just get the floor if you don't feel comfortable with that jump, and then you can do that. I didn't know this at first, but you just spam B. You don't want to move at all. It's faster to just do that. Skip this cutscene. He'll drop you down. And then wall jump, grab the multi-moon. Which I apologize if I call them grand moons, because that's the name in other languages. I don't speak other languages, but I just like grand moon more. And Chinese is the faster language, so I'd say we have time for ruined, because that split's only like, if first split it would only take like 4 minutes. And then the next video will be the last one for any percent. But let me know if you want to see other tutorials. I'm not as good at the other categories, so, or not as well knowledge, I should say. But now we almost have enough in the game. There's only, well, the rest is basically shoved in your face routed. There's only 2 that you technically have routed in. This is the part where they would say you're going to Bowser's Kingdom, but you're actually not, kind of similar to the Cloud Kingdom. But this spot isn't routed whatsoever, because you need to fight this boss regardless. There's no other optional ones that can get you up to the number you need, and it's just one multi-moon, so you know, spam, and then when he's like, what was that? Little shaking Y, skip. And skip again, and after this skip you could start moving. There won't be another one because there aren't missions. You know, my movement is really bad here typically, but you know, you know how to do typical movement by now and this far in the run. I'm just kind of taking it slow to explain stuff. You don't have to really move here. You just get kind of wait no matter if you're moving or not. Now these things, there's 4 of these you can get for health if you get hit, which I almost did because I was trying to explain it. Those 4 things you can get for health if you're taking damage, which is pretty good safety. What I usually do here is I just make sure I have plenty of distance. You just want to get up to him right when the electricity's done. You could just ground pound right there, so you don't have to wait for that little thing to go down. I just ground pound right around when I do that. So now he's going to shoot 5. You just kind of want to be moving, and then like this way. He shoots 2. The next phase after this is when it gets a bit more difficult. But like I said, there's so much health. So you just got to get these fast or else he'll shock you. This split, because it's just a boss fight, typically you won't have too much time save. Because it's just a fight and making your way to the fight and then throwing stuff at the Odyssey. This is where you might take damage, but I'm used to dodging them. You might also take damage here, like that. I just find it easy to stay airborne is the best way. You don't have to be up there to grab those. You want to typically hit him faster than when Cappy's like, finish him off. Now grabbing this Grand Moon is a little weird. Usually I just like long jump dive sorta. Or I just go up actually and jump and cap throw. It's a little easier. You might overshoot it with a long jump, but usually I long jump to get the multi-moons. We'll only be getting 1 more multi-moon left in the run, but there's 1 more video we'll be doing on this because this video is almost up to 20 minutes. So we'll do that one in the next one. That one might be the longest because there's a lot. Bowser's Kingdom is when the run gets intense. You won't do menuing here because they're like, oh, similar to when you did Lost in Metro. You know. Similar when you did Lost in Metro, it'll bring you right in. As soon as you do this cutscene, just say skip, and then you'll do a skip again. And then there'll be this text. I'm going to leave it at this text for the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and the next one is where you probably will need the most help because there's a lot of stuff in Bowser's Kingdom and Moon Kingdom to know. So, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the finale.